Assalamu alaikum. Hi, Oracle, Reiki, spiritual healer. And, I have saved this topic for all week. We have been talking about various things, various ways of attacks upon our health, upon our life, upon our finances. So now, these are the ways that I am giving you different kinds of spiritual attacks, different ways of rituals in order to heal it, different ways, and there is not a one size fit all. You will have to understand that when you approach certain kinds of attacks upon your life, you will need various different steps in order to remove that negative energy. So, that's why we had to, curve the using the herbs and things of that nature, because it is various ways that you can remove the negative energy from your life. And using herbs is just one way. So, today we are talking about when someone has tied you, when someone has bound you, when somebody has tied and bound and gagged. And I've heard many people say that, in life, a lot of older people have said that. And that basically means that a person has used malevolent forces to stop, good energy from flowing to that person. They have shut that person up. They have tied that person and enslaved that person with malevolent energy. So when you're hearing someone is tied, it can also mean that that person has been cross-conditioned. Cross-conditioned meaning more than one, person has tied that person. A lot of times that is what we're dealing with, when we're coming from a space where we have parents that have tied us. We have, other family members who have set up on us to attack us in malicious ways, to hire those marine spirits. We have different ways of understanding that the black arts has been used against your finances, a way that you cannot express yourself when a person has gagged you, when you cannot talk to other people. They do not want you to talk to other people about the malevolent energy that they have been sending out, the evil forces that they have been sending out to you. So one of the ways I created these videos and this channel is because a lot of people just need a way to, have a way to talk about and conversate about the things that they have been seeing in their life, the malevolent energy, the negative forces that have been sent at them. They need an outlet to talk about these things, and so that they can, have an idea of what to do and how to cleanse the negative energy going forth. They need people who have been through these things, and they need people who are, have, the basically the same experience that they have been having one way or another in their life at some point. So when a person has been, bound and tied, and let's talk about that for a minute, because that means that, a person can bound your feet. They can tie your feet so that you cannot move forward in life. You cannot tread the dust. Every time you try to move forward, you will end up in the same place that you started, because that person, a person that is close to you, has sent malevolent energy and tied you to them or to a place that they don't want you to move from. So the first thing that we have to do with that is to make sure that our prayer life, and we're fasting when we see that we cannot move from a certain place. Prayer and fasting is the most important thing that you should do in order to remove any kind of negative energy that has been sent out to you. You want to make sure that Oh, that's an Uber. I was just looking. He was driving really slow. I'm sorry. You just want to make sure that, you are having that connection to God, and you can remove that negative energy, and you can identify and I cannot express this enough to you guys, and we're talking about a progressive level of attack upon your life. You need to be able to identify that person that's sending that negative energy to you, the person that has been hiding in the shadows, the person that has been siphoning your energy by you not being able to move forward. But, with that being said, let's move on to the second one. A person can bound your hands so that anything that you touch, turns from sugar to, hockey spit, and we'll say it like that. And we know how those things were said in back in the day. When a person has bound your hands, that means that you're getting nothing good. Everything that's negative, the person that you choose in life to move forward with is going to turn out sour for you. Your money, you're going to lose money. You're going to lose everything that your hands touch, in order to move forward, because you have been bound, and that person who has bound you and sent that negative energy to you is siphoning your good energy in exchange for their bad energy, their bad karma. So, a lot of people say by being around a person, you can pick up their vibes, you can pick up their negative energy. So if you can pick it up, if they can send these negative attacks upon your life, upon your feet, upon your money, upon your hands, then they can also, it can also be severed from you, and it can also be returned to sender. So, a lot of people reach out to me with these kinds of questions, but I want to give you a general idea today that, a lot of the rituals that I have been giving you over time on this channel will sever a lot of these negative attacks upon your life. So a lot of times, again, when a person is using malevolent energy towards your health, when a person wants to siphon your health and they don't want you to move forward in life, to lead them, and many times they will feed you something. You may have several different, people in your family who have fed you something. Each one of them, they're feeding off of your energy. Each one of them has to be cleansed. So, at the end of the day, when we're cleansing this negative energy off of our minds, body, and our soul, then these people will either, become, very sick with the health problems that they have sent out, and they have tried to bound and tie you to them so that they can siphon your health, so that they can have the energy, so that they can have the vitality, off of your energy, and in many cases off of your children. So these are ways that we're understanding what bound and tied mean, and cross conditions tied, bound, gag, and tied. So you can't say anything about it. And I've dealt with certain people in my life who have told me that they couldn't say anything about what their husband did, because he had bound and gagged them, and they had to find that negative entity that he had bound and gagged them with, their personal items, and they had to destroy that and take it loose. And in my earlier videos, you saw people sending me those kinds of items that they could not undo themselves. And I'm talking about dolls, effigies, and different things that people have done. Also, when a person wants to siphon your energy, for women and men, they will bound your womb. They will bound your seed so that they can reap the benefits off of your children as well. That way, your energy, your vitality, and they will siphon your energy, as energy vampires, so that you cannot say anything about it. You don't know, where that negative energy, but usually it's someone that is usually right around where you are. So, how we are going to combat this going forward is, this is a progressive level of attack. So, with a progressive level of attack, you will need a progressive level, of ritual and cleansing moving forward. Our prayer life does not change. Our connection to God does not change. When you're seeing these kinds of patterns in your life, when you're hearing people saying they're tied, and that person, you're tied, if you're feeling tied, to a land, to a person, to a place that you cannot move forward. Everything that you have good is, being transferred to another person. Everything that you think of, everything that you put your hands towards is being transferred to another person or family. You need to reach out to me in the description below. You can use some of the rituals that I have given you on this page, but you will need to understand that there are different aspects of your life that needs to be cleansed. There are different people that need to be detached from you. You need to be unbound. You need to be untied. You need to be ungagged in order to move forward, in order to identify the persons who have sent that malevolent energy and has done this in your life. You have to be able to identify and move away from them. And so we can specialize in doing that for you. I can send you the gifts and the cleansing rituals that you will need, a progressive, harsh cleansing ritual to remove those negative, ties upon your life, bound and gagged and tied. We're going to remove all of that when you reach out to me in the description below. Please donate to my page, like, share, and subscribe to me over all of my platforms. I'm High Oracle, Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.